and welcome back to the shit behind the show, everyone. I am so happy to be back again for a new topic. Before I get started, I just want to throw out some gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you that are subscribing, liking, sharing, and rating my show. Much appreciation. If you have not done so yet, please go subscribe to YouTube where you can watch all of my podcasts. Tan and Blonde. Facebook, The Shit Behind the Show, Instagram, The Shit Behind the Show, and I'm on TikTok, Tan and Blonde and The Shit Behind the Show. So this week, I'm revisiting a topic that I discussed probably the first year of doing my podcast. Again, I've been doing this alone for 4 years, and I've gained a lot more knowledge, clarity, experience in the last 4 years. It's crazy. If I go back and listen to episodes from when I first started with Coulter, that person, I'm still that fun, energetic girl that was talking on the show then. If you haven't listened, go back and listen. It was more of a fun spin on dating and the types of dates that we had been on and the experiences that we had had back then. Well, I have evolved, and so has my show. Now I've geared it more toward, and again, this is just my opinion on these shows, right? I've geared it more toward healing, self-improvement, self-love, and just advice on how to get back out there. So I appreciate all of you that have gone on this ride with me from the beginning, and I know there are a lot of you. Much love to you all. Much love. So this week I want to dive into rejection again. We all know that even just hearing that word in dating just sounds icky. And it's not just in dating. It's, yes, can be in your dating relationships, friendships, family, career. Career is a big one. So if any of you have ever been in sales, for instance, I have. For the last few years, and I hear no all the time. Now, I've decided that hearing no and rejection just fuels my fire, and I'm just like, yeah, you're not going to tell me no. I'll find a yes, and I do. It doesn't get me down. I'm not discouraged. Do I have my weeks, or have I had my weeks where it's like, goodness, I've heard no all freaking week? Yeah, but it doesn't get to me anymore. Rejection is not a reflection of who I am inside or the type of position I'm in at the time or a reflection of how well I'm doing my job or living my life. It's just a bridge to the yes. And that's how I like to see it. So think of rejection as it's a normal part of life. And it can cause pain, especially in relationships, when someone decides to distance themselves or decides, to end the relationship, of course. It can be challenging. I think at first when I was first single, and so I was still just in this insecure realm of codependency and lost and just had no idea what my future held or what I even wanted. When I was faced with rejection, which wasn't very often because I was the brat that exited before feelings got strong. I was a mess. I'm telling you, I was a mess. But when I did start to experience rejection, I took it very personal. I felt like I wasn't good enough. What's wrong with me? And really, it's just a choice on their part. It's just not a good fit for them. It's just them putting themselves first and setting a boundary with themselves and you. So now I see it differently. That's fine. No sweat on my back. I'm just going to do my thing and move on. I also don't feel any power from rejecting. I know there are a lot that come from a space of, well, I'll just say a broken space. And I hate to say that, but we've all been there. We're all broken at some point in our lives. We've got work to do. And sometimes if you're feeling insecure or you just don't know And there's so much with attachment styles and so many things that can be in this equation, right? Of rejection and feeling like I'm just going to push them away and cause rejection. I feel like that is something also that the more you are able to handle rejection very well, the less you feel like you need to be pushing people away. Again, that comes with a lot of self-improvement and working on yourself and your attachment styles and blah, blah, blah. We could go on and on and on about attachment styles. I'm sure I'll dive into that again also. Because again, I've learned a lot about myself, my attachment styles, where they were, where I am today, and triggers. And they're all tied in together. But while rejection can be challenging, it can also, again, serve as an opportunity for growth, which is what I discussed last week. Growth, self-reflection, redirection. It's actually really exciting because, again, it leads you to that clean slate that I always talk about, and you can seek the more fulfilling connections that fit you better. If you all look back and think about, if you're dating heavily or even divorced, goodness, even married, anytime that you went through a breakup, if you think back now where you are today and how you felt then and where you were at the time, you're in a better scenario. I guarantee there's a part of you that may miss them, may miss the relationship, but if you really think about it, there has been so much growth and so many better opportunities that have come about after the rejection. Again, it's not until we self-reflect and we really look back that we realize these things. While we're in it, it sucks. But if you learn how to handle rejection in a positive way and really see it as an opportunity and not a setback, then you will almost be excited for it. Days that I have been out in my selling career, out selling, and I get the, oh, not today. I will say no one's ever real terrible to me. I've had a few over the phone, but face to face, it's not like you picture in the movies, on TV, whatever, or the horror stories that you hear. But hearing no, and I'm like, sweet, that's a challenge for me. I see it as a challenge. Okay, that's fine. The yes is going to be amazing. Thanks for not wasting my time. On to the next. And that's it. That's it. There's no, what did I say wrong? What did I do that was wrong? Why don't they like me? Why don't they want this service? I don't let it bring me down. But years ago, 10, 11 years ago, oh, hell yes. I could not have been in sales. So I feel like it's been great for me to face rejection in both my personal life and my professional life, because I no longer see it as a bad thing. Even with family, there are times that I try to get together with family. And years ago, had I heard, something along the lines of, I just don't have time, I probably would have taken it personal, like, why don't you have time for me? And I know a lot of people do that. I've seen it. I do see it. And again, I've mastered rejection. I don't see it that way. I have a friend who doesn't even believe in rejection. And I can see that also because, again, it's just someone setting boundaries and being true to who they are, a belief that they may have. If it's in business, it's just someone saying, yeah, I'm not interested in the service. That's it. Or maybe I can't afford the service. But it's not a reflection of who you are and how well you're doing your job or how great of a partner you were, unless you did something to hurt that person. But I want you to look at rejection as an opportunity. I want you to look at it as like, sweet, I'm going to take a step back and not let this trigger me, not let this be a defining moment negatively, but positively, of who I am inside. And the more you sit with it and the more you're like, okay, sweet, on to the next. The next opportunity is going to be amazing. I just know it. You will see that it doesn't cause the same negative emotions anymore. Hearing the word rejection isn't a bad word, isn't a bad thing. It doesn't have a negative feeling. And again, I'm going to go back to personal growth every time. This will build your self-confidence and build who you are tremendously. If you can just master rejection, it is amazing the things that you feel like you can do in life. You feel like there will be a time that I will have that perfect partner and that perfect relationship. The sky's the limit if you are not afraid of rejection. The sky's the limit really if you can get rid of fear altogether, right? If fear isn't a thing, fear and rejection, I feel like go hand in hand. A lot of people are afraid of hearing no. A lot of us are so afraid of being hurt again, especially if we have been multiple times, even once. And so rejection just feels icky and scary, and I don't want to go through that again, because I mean, honestly, divorce is a rejection, or could be in the rejection category, I guess. So and just take it as an opportunity to self-reflect, to take a second and look back. Okay, where are my preferences? Where can I really absorb this and really make it something that I learn from, turn it into an opportunity, turn it into something that helps me to grow and helps me to follow the path of satisfaction for myself, set my own boundaries, and get rid of that rejection trigger. That is one that is super important. If you can get rid of that trigger, dating will be more fun. If you just see it as, I don't have expectations, rejection doesn't bother me, I'm just here to have fun and follow this journey in my path and find my partner, I promise you, it will be a lot more fun. If you think back at all of the horror stories in dating, a big part of those stories that suck and trigger is opportunities that you had or and maybe didn't see that revolved around rejection. And again, take a look back into your dating world, or married, or career, or family, and really dissect it and think of those times like, when did I feel rejected and where am I at today? How did I come out the other end? If you're still sitting with it, I would encourage you to do some work on yourself. Let's eliminate the icky feeling of rejection. How about that? Let's work on that this week. Thank you, and until tomorrow,